I'm Emilio Pesmino, and right there is an American crocodile. Check that out. He's crossing the road right there. Now, the Everglades is the only place in the world where you're going to find both alligators and crocodiles living in the same area. However, there's a big difference between the two in population. Whereas there's millions of gators throughout southeastern United States, here in Florida, there's only about 2,000 American crocodiles. Now, given how rare they are, they're really heavily protected. So there's just no way we're going to be able to catch one of those without getting in some big legal troubles. However, I know somewhere we can. Today we're here at the Pantanal Zoo in Guayaquil, and this is the area where they breed American crocodiles. As you guys know, we have American crocodiles back in Florida, but they're highly endangered over there. There's only 2,000 left in the Everglades. Here, they're much more abundant, but they're still a threatened species due to human development and loss of habitat. So today I wanted to show you guys and get up close with one. Now this guy, I would say, measures about 1.20 meters, 1.30 meters. He's not that big. He's still just a juvenile. Obviously, I couldn't jump on a big one. Later, I'm going to show you guys what a really big one looks like, a large adult male. In retrospect, it appears I miscalculated the size. It would seem to be well over 1.60 meters. So right now we have his snout shut tight because, as you guys remember from the caiman episode, crocodilians have a bite force that is very strong when clamping down. But they don't have much muscle to open their jaw. So as long as I hold them like this, we're going to be fine for now. But I can't get too confident because crocodilians and all reptiles in general, they tend to have they have a lot of power, they have a lot of speed, but their endurance is very weak. So what they'll do is that they'll explode in power, then they'll stop for a while, recharging their energy. So right now this guy's in a phase where he's recharging his energy. To capture him, it was quite a wild ride, but now you can see he's acting like he's very calm. But any second now, he could just explode and try to run along with all these other ones here. So also with the caiman, you guys remember the eyes. So the eyes of the crocodile, you can see they're much more pronounced than the caimans. But they also have that same nictitating membrane. I'm going to push it down. You guys saw? That was a nictitating membrane. What it does is that it helps the crocodile essentially see underwater. It's like goggles for them. That's why they're such an efficient predator when they're under the water. But what I have to do is that I have to keep their eyes shut. That kind of keeps them more calm, but not really. So it's better to just have it like this for now. Behind the eye, you can also see an opening. That would be the ear hole. So, as I said before, the Everglades is the only place in the world where you're going to find alligators and crocodiles living in the same habitat. But how do you tell them apart? Well, here's the perfect example. The crocodiles are going to have a very V-shaped snout. This is because they mostly fish. That's their main prey, and other underwater creatures. So they're going to have it like the V shape. The alligator is going to have the U shape because they have a much more varied diet. They're going to get anything that gets close to the water's edge. Another difference is the teeth right here. As you can see, when you close the mouth of a crocodile, you can still see some teeth are coming out. Specifically, more pronounced is this tooth right here. You're going to see them. But if the alligator closes its mouth, there's not going to be any teeth showing. Another difference tends to be the habitat preference. Although they both live in the Everglades, the crocodile is going to be more towards the saltwater areas. They're going to be in brackish water, out towards the sea, in the mangroves. The alligator prefers more freshwater habitat, but they have a much greater abundance because there's a lot more freshwater zones that still haven't been occupied by their threats. So what are the threats to these guys? Well, here in Ecuador, there's a big shrimp industry, and constantly they're growing because the demand for shrimp is growing. And unfortunately, it's taking up their habitat. There's also a lot of human-crocodile conflicts, especially as they lose their habitat and they start getting into populated areas. That's why it would appear as if there's now more crocodiles than ever, but in reality, the only thing that's escalating is the conflict. Here at the Pantanal, they were doing various conservation efforts to try to reintroduce the crocodile back into the rivers of Guayaquil. The problem is that many people, they don't see the ecological importance of the crocodile. All they see is a threat, and they don't really understand or know how to coexist with a predator that has been in the zone for millions of years. Another obvious difference between the crocodile and the alligator is that the crocodile is far more aggressive. Here we're dealing with the American crocodile. This is nothing compared to the Nile or the saltwater crocodile of the old world. but this is still a very powerful beast. Usually the alligators are going to have a much more docile temperament. They're going to be, just after a few human interactions, they'll already be, used to that. So that's why you see back in Florida, lots of gator shows where they do like the trick in the mouth and all sorts of stunts. But that's because they're much more used to that. The crocodiles, on the other hand, it's very hard to get that natural predatory instinct out of them. Despite constant handling, these guys are still very aggressive. One exception to this rule would be Otter, a 5-meter croc who befriended a man nicknamed Chito after he was shot in the head by a farmer and Chito tended to his wounds. The pair became globally famous and regularly performed shows together for over 20 years without incident, until Otter's death in 2011 from natural causes. You can see that the crocodile has very pronounced scutes right on its back. You can see these rows that go along here. They're like solar batteries. When these guys bask out in the sun, they get energy from it. And the warmer they are, the more power they have. Other than saltwater crocodiles, American crocs are the only species of crocodile that prefers to live in saltwater, and can even thrive in hypersaline lakes, such as Lago Enriquillo in the Dominican Republic. Well, it's time to let this guy go. I don't want to stress him out too much, and these guys are looking at me kind of funny, so we better get out of here. Bueno, muchachos, till next time. So, I'm going to have to get off. 3, 2, 1. After being in such a tense situation, I had to relax for a while by playing with this cute river otter. Her name is Nutella, and she came to the Pantanal as an orphan after her mother was killed in a construction site when she was a baby. On that note, I want to give a big thank you to the Pantanal Zoo for allowing us to film this episode and for all their efforts in the areas of animal rehabilitation, wildlife conservation, and of course, educating the public about the wonderful creatures with which we share this world. Go check out their Instagram page, link will be in the description, and if you're ever in Guayaquil, be sure to stop by. Thank you so much for watching. It has been an incredible honor to be able to bring you guys these videos, and it would not have been possible without all your support, especially the Pazmiño Franco family and the Chacon Chavez family. Since this is the season finale, I'm going to be taking a break for a couple months, but don't worry, season 3 is going to come soon. And trust me when I say it's going to be epic, because while season 1 and 2 have been split pretty much evenly between Ecuador and Florida, season 3 will start off somewhere that's going to be new for many of you, but for me, it's where all of this truly began, and the idea of animal encounters was born. Bueno muchachos, till next time.